Welcome to another episode of the Banner Report podcast, starring Cody Adams and Steve Crowley.
No answers for him.
It's funny that LeBron is on like both sides of like I see like the win against the Warriors is one of my favorite series ever because of him coming back against a villain, and then like one of my favorite series ever is the Dallas one because LeBron was the villain in that spot.
Yeah, he's been the villain and he's been the savior.
He's played long enough.
That 2016 finals was like probably the best finals we've seen.
The block on Iggy and then the three, I was just shitting myself, dude.
That was wild. Fucking that shit was wild. LeBron was the savior because he got drafted by his hometown and everything like that, #1 overall pick, and he was unbelievable for him and dragged that team. Then he was the villain leaving for the Heat. Then he went back to Cleveland. He was the savior again, winning them a title. And then he went to LA. And now he's the villain again because he's in LA.
Won a title.
I mean, it's always about him. It's always about him, that's for sure.
Mickey Mouse title over there.
Yeah.
Some of those guys talk about that fucking like bubble like it was fucking Vietnam. And then you like talk to like Steven Adams, you're like, this was great. Like I got room service every day, nobody bothered me. I just played basketball. Like
Why I don't understand the hate on that championship. It's like all the teams like flew in and they lived on a resort for like a few months and played basketball. Like if anything, it should have helped everybody because there was no travel.
Yeah, there was no travel. Your only focus was basketball. Like it should have been some of the best basketball. I mean, we saw it from some teams like Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell going against each other.
Tyler Herro
went off, but that Mitchell Murray fucking matchup when Mitchell was still in the Jazz and they were going for like 40 a fucking night each of them, that was wild.
I wish I could hug you right now, but I cannot. So I am sending you this video.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Banner Report podcast, starring your hosts, Cody Adams, Steve Crowley, and Jacob Pierce. We are coming to you live on January 28th of 2024. Right before the All-Star break here, Celtics are a league best 35-11. It's been 10 days since you heard from us. How do we feel, boys?
Good. Dropped a couple ones that we would have liked to taken, but shit happens. Even the 73-9 Bulls lost 9 games, or 73-9 Warriors lost 9 games. You can't be perfect every night.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to talk because I feel amazing, but just like kind of the last game we saw stunk. So it's like I feel probably more negative right now in this very second than I like do generally, just because I just need to see us get a good solid win and I'll be back on like no problems.
Yeah, I mean they were down. They were due to have some pretty bad, not pretty, but they were down to have 1 or 2 bad losses. And I don't think that Nuggets game was a bad loss. It was a tough nose game. It was a hard game. The Clippers game, last night's game, was a bad game. They just never had it. So let's do a recap here. The 20-0 home streak ended the day after you heard from us against the Nuggets. What did we think about that game? It was back and forth. They beat us 102-100, I believe.
I actually boots on the ground here.
Yeah, you're there.
Witnessed in person. It was actually a fantastic game. Honestly, like Derek White was massive in that game. It was not only like shows on the box score. I forget exactly what he had. He was like high 20s, close to 30, I think that game. And it felt like even more like he had the crowd going. Derek White, a good Derek White game in person is something to see because it really gets everyone goddamn crazy. And Tatum had a few. It was a fun game. We were up and down. Like we were saying earlier, like the Clippers. I feel like the Nuggets lost. We at least learned something. I feel like the defensive scheme we had actually kind of worked. Like we held the Nuggets to 102, right? Wasn't it 102, 100? You said.
Yeah.
So it's like what we did against like forcing Jokic and Jamal into hero ball and suffocating the rest. Like the only thing that's ever worked against the Nuggets and with them in this form seemed like it would work for us if we hit shots, which is great. Like we actually, I would have loved if we lost a gritty game yesterday, so we could at least learn something from it. Yeah. We learned something from the Nuggets.
Jokic and Murray went off. I think they had both 30-plus points. Murray couldn't miss at the end. And unfortunately, our 2 stars, Jalen and Jason, didn't have their best game. So you left that one feeling like, we should have had it. It's disappointing we didn't beat the reigning champions. We're the favorites, but also it's like, we almost had it. We should, a few things break a different way, and we're winning that game. Like Jaylen Brown hitting those last 2 free throws at the end in the last minute there, which he missed, would have tied the game up. So, they're the reigning champs. What do we think? Do you think that's the finals preview? Do you think they're going to make it back? I mean, the Nuggets are going to make it back. How do we feel about that? Our odds against them in the series?
I don't see anybody in the West beating the Nuggets, honestly. I mean, your number 1 and 2 seeds right now are Oklahoma City and the Timberwolves. Oklahoma City's too young, too inexperienced. And I think that the Timberwolves' offense is just too stagnant to figure it out in the playoffs when it gets really, really slow for them. On that Celtics game, I think it was just an outlier game for the Celtics, too. I mean, how often are you going to see a game where Jaylen Brown has 13 points? How often are we going to see Tatum and Brown go for 2 for 17 from 3? Like, if they go 3 for 17 from 3, which is still atrocious, you win that game. Like, that's... Jokic and Murray combined to score or assist on 89 of 102 points for the team. Like, everything the Celtics did defensively, they can repeat. But I don't think that the Nuggets for a 7-game series can repeat what they did to the Celtics. I don't think they're going to hold the Celtics to 100 points in 4 games.
Yeah, I don't think I'll say either side's performances would be consistent in a 7-game series. The Nuggets being so good and the Celtics being so bad, I think they'll both find their level in a 7-game series. The one thing I will say against that is that the Nuggets 3 and 4 players, the rest of them, their bench didn't have a great game. So you probably expect that water to reach level 2. But yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting final series if both these teams make it. Man, Jokic is just incredible to watch. It's also probably my biggest takeaway from that game is that Jokic is just,
he could just touch God whenever. He just has that ability. He just takes over an entire game.
He's a magician with the ball, man. It's crazy if a guy that big and oafish looking is that graceful and with the ball, and it's
footwork is unbelievable.
His touch too.
Yeah.
His hands are like crazy. Like he's like underrated steal like passing lane person when it comes to that. Like Jokic might not like get the crazy vertical blocks. If you ever like see him in the passing lanes, he's a menace. He's like freaking like he really makes it like awful to pass through the paint at all. He kind of has that down, like the IQ part of like knowing exactly when passes are going to be thrown around. Like he tips a lot of stuff. Like kind of low key better at like in person. He kind of was more of a defensive presence than he's given credit. I think just also the body too. Like Kristaps couldn't move him. I mean, who can?
Yeah, that was a good matchup though. I don't think Kristaps was. I mean, he did score 30 points, but I don't think Kristaps was like way out of his league against Jokic. I think that's sneaky a pretty good matchup that we have there. But yeah, I mean the Nuggets they are fun to watch. Anything else on that game?
I mean, yeah, I think that will be the finals. I think the Nuggets will come out of the West though. I think that will be a finals preview, which should be fun. It was a good nice preview.
Well, the Lakers are so far. They're like in 10th place. They're real. They have to do something drastic.
The West is so weird. Like the Nuggets are the only team out there that are proven it all, and the other teams look fantastic. But you can't. It's hard to bet on it like the Timberwolves or the Thunder. That's what I'm sure.
Yeah. I will say we did go up against 2 other Western Conference playoff teams right after that on the road against the Rockets and the Mavs. We handled business against those guys. Luka was, I don't know, he was getting schooled by Jaylen Brown, but he decided to wait 2 games later to drop 73 points. Thanks, Luka. Really appreciate that. That's the 4th most points in NBA history, by the way.
He was saving his energy for the team that drafted and traded him. He was like, he was in like a state of like resting in our game, it seems.
I mean, yeah, he was resting. He also had like 33, like 15 and 8. No, he had 33, 18 and 8. Like he almost had a 30, 20, 10 game in a game that looked like he was just taking off.
That's nearly his average, man.
It's wild.
But what was pretty bad, Jaylen was cooking him.
Oh yeah.
It was sick.
There was a bucket at the end where Jaylen just like kind of half-ass drilled at him, and he just backed up, and then before you knew it, Jaylen Brown was like taking a warm up jumper at the elbow, and it was like, what the hell was that defense? You didn't even pressure him at all. Like what? That was the end of the game, fourth quarter defense. Like,
Luka
okay,
laughed at it too, which is sick. He was cool about it.
Yeah.
he knows that team's not going anywhere.
No. Well, yeah. You know,
They're
they
not
got
beating
they
the Nuggets. They're not beating. I don't think they're beating any of the top four teams in the West right now.
they probably got some moves to make. We'll see. I mean, I don't think they paid Kyrie all that money to not compete.
Mm. They
Do
never
you
got
think
Mark
they trade
Cuban got
Kyrie?
to do with. So
He's not the owner anymore.
yeah, even better. He doesn't give a shit.
He's still there at every game though. He's like a minority owner, I
He
think.
always makes all the basketball moves. I guess that was part of the contract,
They
which
can
is
trade
wild.
Kyrie, right?
Yeah, presumably.
I mean, he's kind of like been pretty good this year. Like he's kind of made his value way better. I feel like they could actually move him. Like I
I
feel
just
like the drama's settled a lot, and he kind of just has been balling on efficient numbers.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything off the court from him all year, but I don't know if that's just because he's on the West or what. But
no, I think he's been he's been a choir boy off the court this
yeah,
year.
it's
Maybe he's
just
trying to make it so he could get traded to LA. Like he's earning good grace.
they could fucking use him.
LeBron, he's like proving himself to LeBron. He's like, I won't be a problem. See, I'm good in Dallas.
I promise. I promise I'll be good.
I don't know. And you know, would this is gonna be an interesting topic, and I'm floating this out there, and I may be wrong or sound stupid, but would you rather Jason Tatum or Luka Doncic as your stars?
That's a toss up.
I mean, what is he like 2 years younger too?
Who Doncic than Tatum?
I think so, right? I'm gonna
Um,
Luca might be like 24, 25.
yeah, Luka came like straight out of Spain, so he never went to college.
Yeah, Luca's 24.
and Tatum's 26, right?
That's 26 next month, I think, or March.
Yeah. So I mean, they're you know,
Pretty,
Right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Tatum, you're getting a two-way player who's elite defensively when it counts. But then Luka, you're getting one of the
supreme
offensive
ball handler.
players that's ever seen, and no defense. But
That's
also,
the thing,
Luka,
man.
Luka has the ball in his hand more than anybody in the league. It said down it was 8.5 minutes per game he's dribbling the ball, and it's like, do you really want how effective can your team be when the ball's in one guy's hands and that guy doesn't play defense on the other end either?
Well, right. That's the thing. Is like the way he's not good for winning championships. So what's the point here? Are you stuffing the stat sheets or do you want to win? And I don't know Luka personally, but maybe taking the ball out of his hands so he can muster up energy to play defense because he's a big guy. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to. He's not like a cone.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys who doesn't try on that end.
Yeah, he's like willfully a cone. But I think it's Tatum. I'd rather Tatum, and it's not even close of a debate for me because I think that guy the defense is just. If you look at the winners of the championship, their teams like that. You just need to play defense. You need to be able to get stops, and I don't think you're getting any stops with the backcourt with Luka and Kyrie there. So
Yeah, no, I can
I mean-
definitely see that.
But Jokic gave people hope, man. Jokic gave the chubby bros hope.
yeah. But Jokic plays defense, as you were talking about.
But I think honestly, but like if you think about like the narrative of Jokic's career, like Jokic kind of figured this out with his IQ like last 3 years. Like maybe like Luca becomes the master of when to spend energy. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe he figures it out. But yeah, you're right. I feel like Tatum is so easy to slide into every system. Like I just feel like he's so versatile in that way. I feel like Luca, like he is the system in a way.
Yeah, that's what Kid literally said. He said that he is the system.
Yeah.
But like that, maybe that's not what's best for winning the overall.
Yeah, it's like also I just need to see Luca like play with like talent in a way that like works for me to be confident because he's not really had that yet. He hasn't had many opportunities, but we've seen Tatum play with a lot of good stars and like it work well.
Well, I mean, he's played with Kyrie.
But they
He
haven't
only
done
had
anything.
half a year last year. He didn't have him for a full year, and he was injured for most of it.
Yeah,
And that doesn't really fit in with Luka's skill set either. It's another primary ball handler.
But
It'd be
I
nice
know.
to see Luka play with like a couple of really good defensive wings, a good defensive center. I mean, the best defensive center he's played with is JaVale McGee. It's kind of hard for you.
Wait, no, didn't he play with Kristaps?
Yeah, but yeah, I guess Kristaps would be the best defensive center that he played with. But like, Even then, like he fit perfectly with them. I don't know why they couldn't make that work.
It was
No,
Kid. I don't know. Or like whoever it was either him or Carlisle. I remember him just not being used well at all. Porzingis the
it
whole
was
time.
Carlisle. He didn't want to post up Porzingis at 7'3" because it's not an efficient shot apparently.
I
And
do
Chris
remember that
leads
play.
the league right now in points per possession on post ups.
Such a quick release too when he wants to.
It's hilarious just watching him just turn around and we go, oh, that guy's way smaller than me. Let me just shoot. I don't even have to like dribble. I don't have to set my feet. I'm just gonna bank this home, and we're gonna go down the other end.
Just circling back, I think Jacob, you're right in the sense that he's young, and I think his body is good. Like he can play defense. He's not like Trey Young's having a great year, and obviously they're forever will be linked because they were traded for one another. Basically, I think Trey Young is just he's capped at what he can do, like defensively. And I would want Trey Young maybe as like a second or a third piece. He's not a superstar in my opinion. I mean, offensively, he's a dynamo. But I think Luca had his size is not an issue. He has the ability to play defense. He just chooses not to for whatever goddamn reason. Um,
Probably because his
maybe
team's so bad on offense. Like maybe if he had more support.
yeah. Maybe it's just the team thing that he hasn't had a good team built around him. But
He doesn't have to score 73 points to get a win. Then maybe he'll play some more defense.
Against the
yeah,
Hawks too. They're not having a good team.
Tatum's always had the luxury of having like Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, like two
And
unreal defenders,
now he's got Drew Holiday. Then he had Al Horford back there. Is
and
like right
Kristaps.
there. Kristaps back there.
Yeah,
But I mean,
he's
let's
always had
not.
the luxury of good defense on his side.
But he also does play defense along with that. Like that series against the Nets where he just locked up KD for a whole series. Like that was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Moving on. Speaking of defense and series in the playoffs, the Celtics go down to Miami and they massacred the Heat, 143 to 110. That felt nice. Obviously, the Heat are much maligned around here. They knocked us out of the playoffs last year, and we've gone back and forth, traded blows with them for years now. They didn't have Jaquez. It was Terry Rozier's debut as a Heat former Celtic.
Second game.
Um, huh?
He played a game before that too.
Oh, was it his home debut?
It must have been the home debut because I know he played one before that, but he hasn't played well in the last couple of games for him.
Yeah, they make a splash move trying to get him. I don't think that puts them. I mean, it puts them a little bit closer maybe to being an actual scary team, but I don't think that's something that's going to move the needle against the Celtics.
Dude, I was listening to Bill Simmons though, and that he really laid something out for me that really made me scared of the Heat. I don't know, just the if you I know like this shouldn't make them a contender. You look at the rosters, they still are way worse. But if you look at what their roster was last year, they're a better team now than what they had in the playoffs. Like
Yeah,
like Gabe Vincent for Terry. Now they have and they have Tyler Hero back. They didn't even have Hero last year. And they have Hame instead of Caleb Martin. Like Hame is better than anyone. Like Hame, if Hame could be as good as Caleb Martin in that series, and it wouldn't even be that weird, which is scary to me. Same with Terry, honestly. Like they have people that kind of can already average in the teens. Like before they were getting those out of no one. Like they're kind of better than last year, so I can't not expect them. I think we should beat them. Like, we should have beaten them last year. That's what the sucky part.
yeah.
But I'm not gonna count them out just because they're so annoying like this. Like they
But
just don't.
I think on that podcast, Simmons also was talking about they ran the zone that frustrated the crap out of us last year, and the Celtics were just picking them apart because Porzingis is like the X factor there. Now he does roll his ankle, which everybody in Boston held their breath for a second because it looked bad. But he's probably going to be out for what till the All-Star break.
Well, they got him listed as doubtful for tomorrow, so he might be back earlier than that. They said it's not even that bad. Apparently, he was moving around great. I saw him last night. He was moving around fine, getting up off the bench, moving fine. Wasn't limping, no boot on, nothing like that. So
Yeah, he came
it was
right
just a
back to the
minor.
bench after he rolled it too. After he went to the locker room.
I think it's just a minor sprain. I mean, I think it's just one of those. Hey,
Was it was it
rather safe than
categorized as a
sorry.
sprain even?
Hmm?
What was it?
I was gonna say I know he rolled it, but like, did he even get a sprain? Even like, I didn't really.
Yeah, they said it was a sprain,
Okay.
but I mean, like it could be just a minor sprain, and they have to list something on the injury report for guys to sit down, so they can't just say rolled ankle. They gotta say sprain. But it was it was an absolute massacre of the Heat. And Jacob, you're right. They are a lot better than they were last year, but so are we. Like they got Terry Rozier and Jaime Jaquez. We got Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Like
Okay.
we should really just still smoke the shit out of them. I know it's our boogeyman, but it was just beautiful to see us just light them on fire for a whole night and have the starters sit in the second half basically. I mean, there
Yeah,
was like a point where Tatum sat for like the first like 5 or 6 minutes of a quarter, and then we just kept building on the lead. And it's like, oh yeah, Tatum's all well rested. Like the Heat scored 2 baskets in a row. Okay, here, Jason, go back in there now. And it's like, oh okay, great. What a reward for the Heat for scoring 2 straight times.
I will say after Porzingis went out, Cornette showed up. That was a nice little showcase by him there, just rolling to the basket. Being that
Wow,
just a
dunks.
yeah.
It's like immediate, like back to back from Jalen, right? It was so
Yeah,
funny.
Jalen had some beautiful passes on that.
It is like it's truly an embarrassment of riches where like Porzingis go. Not that I think we'd have long term success if Porzingis were to go down, knock on wood, for a very long time. But it is an embarrassment of riches to have like a guy like Luke Cornett, who'd probably be like an Isaiah Hartenstein
Mhm.
role, like how he is on the Knicks, anywhere else, come in and be like, just dominant.
Dude,
Uh,
like probably he's like he'd be like a Drew Eubanks on the Suns. Like the
yeah,
Suns would love Luke Cornett.
Mhm.
yeah. I think like 28 other teams out there would love Luke Cornett. 29 other teams. Um,
He played well last night too against the Clippers. He had a few real nice plays too. He was I wouldn't say a bright spot for the team, but he didn't play terrible. It's nice to see him out there.
and yeah, Steve, you were at the game last night. The Clippers, I don't know what the score was, but they stomped us.
I
The
don't
Celtics
remember.
never looked like they had it. I mean, Al Horford dislocated his finger 2 minutes into the game.
Came back and played though too.
Yeah, but you could tell he took a few shots after they like taped it, and it was just, you kind of needed him to hit his shots. Not that anybody was hitting their shots in that game for us because we shot 36% from the field, but like I just feel like you needed him to hit, and when you break your finger on your goddamn shooting hand, you're toast.
Mhm.
I imagine.
I'd imagine. I can't even shoot with sleeves on. I can't imagine having something on my finger like that. Like I'm
Yeah.
such a baby when it comes to that stuff. I can't have anything messing with me.
Not to mention you're in pain.
That's true. Yeah.
Not to
Well,
mention
who
you're
knows?
probably in excruciating pain.
He was probably painkillered up.
Yeah,
You gotta take a nice hard chest pass and you gotta catch it and then square up and shoot while your finger's throbbing. Feels like it's 3 times the size it is. Like, yeah, this is pretty fun.
yeah, but nobody had it, and this team who's relying upon the 3-pointer, nothing was falling, and we couldn't ever get it going. Are we concerned? And I know this Missoula loves the Missoula ball, as they call it. This team loves the three ball. Are we concerned that we're too reliant upon that? What is it with this team when the shot's not falling from distance? They just they won't take it inside and score because we know we can get it inside from Jalen and Jason and Derek White, and Drew is an efficient finisher on the interior. It's like, why are we keep launching?
Last night was different. Last night we took more twos than we took threes. We just didn't hit any of those either. Like we were missing open threes. And if you look at the stats, the wide open threes, we shot like 20 something percent from wide open threes. It's like that's just an outlier game where it's just not falling. The lid's on. It's not your night.
Yeah, the Clippers shot the same exact percent. They shot 25% from three like we did.
Yeah,
But
but if you look at the inside the twos numbers, like they were like 15 to 22. Give up 22 open shots inside the 3 point line. Like that's too much.
yeah.
The lack of offense flowed into the defense, and then they stopped playing defenses as sharply as they should. The first quarter, they stepped up and they're playing hard defense. They were forcing 24-second violations, but after about the second, third quarters, that's when it started really falling apart. You kind of just laid down. It it wasn't your night, and the guys kind of laid down, and all of them. Even Drew was yelling after he was missing shots. And, he's Mister Level Head, so it was just one of those frustrating nights for him. But
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about the threes and the difference in that because like once everything slows down, like we're taking the right threes most nights. And if you're taking the right threes and by the numbers, you're gonna hit the right threes and you're gonna win. But we got this year a lot of post up opportunities too, with Porzingis being healthy. You know, if the three's not falling, you can run through him, which I saw them do it a lot more against Miami. And then also Tatum and Brown posting up more, Drew Holiday posting up more, and Derek White can get down hell if he needs to. And that's really going to open. Porzingis is going to open up a lot of lanes for driving going forward, which is going to be a real X factor in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right on.
We unfortunately we ran into career year, no contract year Kawhi, who doesn't sit and he's just a consistent machine.
That's so true.
Like,
I didn't even think of that.
have you realized? And I heard that recently, and I was like, damn, I think AD is the same way too, which is
They
so
just don't
funny.
sit when it's their contract year,
Yeah,
but every other year, like, oh, I stubbed my toe walking into the practice facility today. I got to sit for a couple of days.
it'd be
Is
so
Julius
funny.
Randle's contract year too?
I don't even know. Could be
He's playing pretty good.
playing well, so probably.
It's contract season, baby. Especially
Yeah.
they're looking at the Jaylen Brown contract, and they're looking at the Giannis contract that he just got to, and they're going, "Oh, I better play this year."
Yeah.
Imagine if the Clippers win it all somehow, and it's just like kind of because Kawhi cares more on the contract year, and they won the chip because of that. Like he's like, I don't know.
Jeez.
Obviously he's also just the healthiest he's ever been probably. Like I think he'd actually had a full year to like rehab, but it'd be crazy if like they win and it's like the year that Kawhi actually didn't load manage. It's like, yeah, dude, you could be this good, I guess. Like
You're
Didn't
only
he
getting
just
1 year
re-sign
contracts
though?
from here on out, man.
Wasn't he just re-signed though? I thought he just extended his contract in the middle of the year, or was that Paul George?
might have been PG.
I know one of them just got an extension done.
Yeah, I think it is Kawhi. Yeah, 4 years, 176 million.
That's what I heard. I was hearing that he was like just the happiest he's ever been because
Oh
he
no,
just
he declined. He declined it.
oh what? When did he decline that?
32 average salary for yeah. Kawhi Leonard center for you. This guarantee. Yeah, it says 2024-25 option player declined for 48
Oh no, he declined
million.
his player option to sign the extension.
Oh,
Yeah, because you can't have the you can't have both. Um,
Yeah,
I
he
think
wanted
that,
45 million instead of 30. What the hell?
yeah, fucking. Yeah. I feel so bad for the guy. Um, also, it was crazy. We were talking about the Lakers earlier being under 500, and like this year, AD and LeBron have been really healthy. They've been playing almost every game, and you're still below 500. So what happens when AD sprains an ankle and is out for 2 weeks, or LeBron pulls a hamstring, he's out for 3 weeks, or whatever? Like, I don't. Obviously, I'm not wishing injury on these guys, but they are older. LeBron's 39 at this point. AD's injury prone. I already know this. Like, how bad is that? How bad are they going to fall when one of those guys is gone? Because they can't even be at 500 with both those guys. So what happens when you miss one of the two best players on your team?
well, I mean, it's what you're saying is true. Is incumbent upon them staying the same, but I don't think that's going to be the case in a few weeks here. But uh, I will say they just haven't gotten the same amount of performance they've gotten last year out of people like Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura. Feels like their bench, their role players have not been up to snuff. So yeah, you're right. They're in a bad spot. They need their teams like the Warriors and the Lakers are in like, we're at DEFCON 1. I think that's the worst one. We're at red alert here. We need to do something. Or we're gonna have to fold up for the year. But yeah, they're in trouble. The Clippers are fine. The Lakers are in trouble. Never thought I'd be saying that.
Yeah, it's usually the reverse.
I think like you were saying, Cody, like the team not being the same, like exactly what you're saying, Steve, is exactly what I think they're going to the deadline with, like the trade deadline. I think they definitely I think they should get Bruce Brown from the Raptors. He's just hanging around.
Yeah, I'm surprised they
Imagine
still
I'd
have
rather
him.
he go out west.
yeah, that'd be, but yeah, I think he, like they could snag someone up like that. I know they were trying to get DeJounte for D'Lo, which is so funny. I mean, if they'd have to send more, obviously it wouldn't be straight up, but
Yeah,
the Lakers are definitely making a trade, I think, because I think LeBron is definitely putting pressure on that for sure.
yeah, you have to at this point in time. Like after the performance, he had like what 46 points last night in a double overtime game.
That he
You have to.
won.
Yeah, they barely
Seven
won over the
rebounds.
Warriors.
He had his career high in
Steph had
rebounds.
40 something too, and like both these guys, you're looking at these two guys going like you have them now. Stop trading for fucking draft picks. Stop fucking looking at the future. Get something now, because like you're not gonna have these guys in another year or two. You
Dude,
got to take advantage of the greatness that you have on your team now.
LeBron got his career high in rebounds last night.
How many do you have?
20.
He had 20
Whoa.
rebounds last night at fucking 39 years old. Like you need to like trade and get this guy some help now.
I think LeBron, he didn't have 40, he had 36, 20, and like 13.
Oh well,
Only. No,
well,
Curry had like 40 something, but yeah, he only had a triple double with the 20 rebounds.
Only.
only a 30, 20, 10 game at fucking 39 years. Yeah.
As he gets selected for his 20th All-Star game.
Do you think there's any world where like let's just say the Lakers continue to go down the tubes here these last few weeks? You think there's any world where LeBron requests a trade?
No, because he signs 1-on-1s.
I was gonna say he's never done that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's 39 years old.
Yeah, but if it goes down the tubes, he just won't. He just won't. He has a player option next year. He just won't sign it, and then he'll go to free agency and go wherever the hell he wants to go.
Yeah,
Because
but why not
everybody
ask to get like traded to a team that's like
He won't
he's
ask
like
to get traded. He'll just finish up this year because next year Bronny's going to the draft anyways. So
what
he'll
if he's
finish
like
out-
trade me to Minnesota?
I don't think Minnesota has enough to give. I don't think the Lakers.
Karl Anthony Towns.
You think that the Lakers are going to be like, yeah, sure, we'll take Karl Anthony Towns, who has 4 points in the fourth quarter when he had 58 in the three before for LeBron James. Yes, let's go with that one.
Well, just like let's just say LeBron's like I don't want to be on this team anymore, and the Lakers like, all right, we have to go into rebuild. Let's start selling off for parts. Like,
Oh,
I
would
just
say fuck you, LeBron. All right, we're going to trade AD, we're going to trade D'Lo, we're going to get a shitload of draft picks and a bunch of scrubs for you to play with, and you can finish out the last year here in LA.
does he not have a no trade clause?
No, he doesn't. He signs. I don't know if it's something in the CBA where you can't get a no trade clause on a short contract like that, but he's always signed 1-on-1s where he has 1 year under contract, player option for the second year,
Hmm.
because that keeps putting pressure on the GMs to hey, get me some help, otherwise I'm gone after this year. And he's proven multiple times that he will leave.
He will leave, but I think one of LeBron's like most proud points, I think he's actually talked about it, and other people, he's like he gets talked about the power agency stuff, but he's never actually broke a contract or even done any strike stuff or anything. Like he's actually wrote out every team. He's never like actually like given up on a team like that. I don't think he,
Requested a contract. They never requested a trade. He's always
yeah,
played it out. Yeah.
I don't think I don't think he will now. I don't think he's gonna kind of mess his image up. It's funny like it's funny how we used to scream at LeBron for the whole like moving around the league thing, and now like players literally stop playing if they
They
don't
don't
want.
request trades in the middle of the year. He at least he waited for the end of the year to leave, and
The
like
Heat is so good with LeBron. Like him going to the Heat was that much of a betrayal. Literally, like James Harden it just says fuck you to the fan base. And like,
yeah. And that's a good point with his image too. He's always been very image conscious with everything that he does, and requesting a trade would really hurt his image.
Yeah, yeah. I was just floating that out there. I just I don't know. Maybe it's the fan in me. I kind of want him to get on a better situation at the
Yeah.
end here. But what I fall in line with what you guys are saying. He wouldn't do that most likely.
Nostalgia level, we want to see our heroes go out on top. We don't want to see them go out sad. But
It'd be different if he was like Michael Jordan on the Wizards. He's not. He's still a really good player. Like,
even Michael Jordan on the Wizards was dropping. He had a couple 50-point games. Like
yeah.
he was still Michael Jordan, but it's still sad to watch him in a Wizards jersey.
Mm-hmm.
same thing could happen. We had the same exact conversation last year, and at the deadline they made moves that got them to the Western Conference Finals.
It's true.
Literally, like the moves did that last time. They got like Rui and Vanderbilt. Now, like, or did they have Vanderbilt then? I don't even know, but I think D'Lo, 100%. I'd put money on him being gone. That's for sure. And they honestly might, obviously not like a crazy person, but like it's gonna be interesting what they get from D'Lo and maybe Rui. Rui's not been as good.
Yeah. Then they have Caleb Martin too to throw in there for
No, Cody
Oh,
Martin.
Gabe, his duo partner that killed us.
Oh, Gabe Vincent. Yeah.
Yeah, they've Gabe.
Yeah, Vincent over there. I can't remember which one of those guys that killed the Celtics last year, but he's sitting on the bench. He's been injured all year. He hasn't done anything, and so it's like trade him for some filler if you need to. Maybe see if you get Levine.
And
I don't
Caleb's
know,
been
another
shit this year.
scorer on that team.
I'd probably, if you were the Lakers, who would you go after right now? That's most likely available.
DeJounte probably if they
Yeah, me
could.
too.
he would fit probably the best. But I mean, Levine also fits in fine there as a third option and a guy who can get out and run and get you some transition points because LeBron's an elite outlet passer.
No, I want a little bit more on the defensive end.
Yeah, you need more defense on that team. I think that's part of their problem. The only
Yeah,
defender-
D'Angelo Lopez, D'Angelo Russell doesn't play defense. That's kind of an issue.
Yeah,
I think
and on
they
nights where he doesn't have it, it's like, all right, you're a negative on defense and offense. Like, how much are we paying you?
get Kuzma back. Or I'm mostly kidding with that, but there's like a lot of people in the Wizards that could be scoops, like Daniel Gafford and stuff, just like random defense guys.
Yeah.
Or like Nick Claxton in the Nets.
Ooh, I'd hate that.
I wouldn't hate that. I mean, like, AD comes off the floor for Claxton. You have
No, I'd hate that as a Celtics fan. I wouldn't want to see Nick Claxton on a good team.
I don't think he does. I don't think he helps out the Lakers that much.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's more of like a fan service thing, LeBron. Like, I don't think they're going to the finals anyway, so I kind of want it as good as they can be.
Yeah. At least give him something where he doesn't have to put a 30, 20, 10 game in double overtime to beat another team that's below 500.
It's a good series, honestly, in the playoffs.
Well, I would love to watch that series in the playoffs. It would be impossible for it to happen where they're sitting right now. It would have to be a play-in game.
Both teams would have to get markedly better.
They might be the play-in battle. It might be LeBron. It might be the Warriors versus Lakers. That'd be so funny.
You might have to have a couple of teams up on top go on strike and stop playing for the next couple of weeks for that to happen.
Yeah.
Moving on around the league here. Speaking of retreads and getting better, maybe the Bucks fire Adrian Griffin, head coach Adrian Griffin, and they hire Doc Rivers. What do we think about that?
Gotta keep Giannis happy because boy did they not like fucking Adrian Griffin.
They hated him, man. Holy crap!
It was bad vibes from the beginning when Terry Stotts left before the season even started. That was supposed to be Dame's guy that was helping him out over there. And now they got Adrian Griffin for the year. At one point in the year, they're like, all right, Brooke, you have to blitz every screen. And then it was like 2 weeks later, it was like, oh, never mind, Brooke, you're going to play drop. But everybody else has got to play the same. And they weren't very happy about that. And Giannis doesn't know what they're doing on defense. He's calling them out in the media. He had a game against the Celtics where he refused to come out of the game when they wanted to sub him out. It was bad from the beginning. And Doc can fix it a little bit, but there's a lot of shit that's on the players. Their transition defense is one of the worst in the leagues. It's if you want to be a contender and you're just gonna give up layups off of made baskets, that's not good. That's just effort. That's nothing that a coach can do. That's on the players. So we'll see if a new coach will put a spark under their ass to have them do it. But I don't think Doc's fixing that team. That team's always gonna have the same problems because of who they have on the team.
Yeah, they have Pat Connaughton and Dame to stop us.
Yeah.
But the video of I knew that Adrian wasn't that cool of a guy, but the video after he got fired, the next game of their intro where they were just dancing.
They're all dancing. Yeah.
I was like, who is this? What villain was Adrian Griffin, dude?
What was practice like with this guy?
For real.
Dude, it looked like Footloose and the freaking the mayor of the town got killed that didn't want dancing to happen. I don't know. They were like, whoa, we finally can have fun. The Adrian Griffin's out. It's what? How is he like this? How did he even ruin the system that much? You guys have had this. You guys have been a bunch for Giannis has been there for so long. How can someone come in and mess it up that bad?
Yeah. Well, good thing they bring in Doc Rivers, a guy who's never messed up anything.
Well, I'm not worried actually.
I mean, I think it's probably a good move. I think Doc's an okay coach, probably better than Adrian Griffin. And if the players buy in, at the very least, that's an improvement.
Dude, they were second in the East. They were 30-13 or something like that. First year head coach, and you still lost your job. How much of a dickhead?
They're still 30. They're in second place. They're 3 games behind us.
Yeah, as a first time head coach, and you also just gutted your team for Damian Lillard, and you said, "Hey, figure it out." I don't think he was doing that bad of a job.
And you just mollywopped the best team in the league.
Yeah,
with Adrian Griffin, that would be like us firing Missoula last year.
Yeah, which people were calling for his head in the media, but I don't know. That's Boston.
Come on.
That's Boston. If you lose 2 games in a row, if you're anybody other than Belichick, they call for your head.
Well. R.I.P.
much leash. That was so bad.
The fact that he was an advisor first is so crazy too. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
that's the little skeevy shit on the back over there. He was an advisor for how long was it, Jacob? Like 2 weeks?
not long. Yeah, it was this month or like within a month. It was
Wait, what happened?
like Doc Rivers was called like after I think it was after the in-season tournament game, like when they just sucked against the Pacers. Like they called Doc Rivers to be like the advisor to Adrian Griffin. Like Doc was a new hire of the Bucks. That's why
Oh,
that's why I was saying the little finger thing. I was like, is he little he gets fired from his last coaching job, kind of like is like, oh, I'll work for ESPN, sure. But he's sort of fielding options and kind of making an opportunity for himself the whole time. I see you, Doc. There's Glenn.
Yeah,
he hated all those Bill Simmons podcasts he did. He said, "Ah, fuck that, I'm out."
Dude, he was great on those. Those were great.
Yeah, I loved it.
it was
He's a
great
good
to hear
topic.
stories from the old NBA days. It was great to
Yeah.
hear those stories.
Bill
He's a-
actually sounds like he's really disappointed that this happened.
Oh, yeah,
For
Doc
obvious
obviously-
reasons.
Doc's gonna be one of his favorite coaches of all time too, being a Celtics fan, winning him a title. Like he's, hey, I get to talk to a guy who won a title for my team and makes me money.
Yeah. Also, Austin Rivers is on the Bill Simmons the Ringer podcast stuff, so like they're intertwined there. He'll be back, but good for the Bucks, I guess. Let's jump over the All Stars and let's talk about since we're on the topic here, moves that need to be made. The Warrior. We talked about LA, the Lakers. What about the Warriors? What are they going to do up in Oakland?
You gotta do something. They gotta start playing Kuminga more. Is what they gotta do. That dude's had like 5 straight 20-point games. I think he only had like 3 in the last 2 years. Like the kid's got to get minutes. Like I know that you got Clay on that team, and I know you got Wiggins, but like put one of them out there as on the bench. Neither one of them's playing well. Like Kuminga's out playing both of them right now.
Do you think Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry end the year on the same team?
Yeah, this is
I
the
think-
last run for him.
Yeah, I think Wiggins gets traded, but
I think it's done, man.
really?
I think Clay's out of there. He's a cone.
It makes sense. It'd be smart of them, but I just don't know. Like there's no way they're a win with currently constructed. Like there's just absolutely no way. So they gotta blow it up and get picks eventually.
Who do they go and get? I guess on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot. Who do you think they go and get, or if they can, what would they do? Let's just assume that Draymond and Clay's contracts can be traded for anybody,
Laurie,
salary wise. Really?
they were like, I mean, it's kind of a funny statement. They were like, we want a 7-foot skilled guy, but like I've heard of them wanting Laurie before, and he's definitely on. I mean, the Jazz. Laurie is someone that a contender should try to scoop because he's
Yeah.
pretty defensive.
I think that would probably be my guy.
Yeah, the Jazz said he's untouchable though. That's the only problem. So you have to give him a Godfather offer over there.
That's just Danny Ainge jacking the
would
price
say-
up.
Angel do it if he thinks it's worth it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, if you give him enough picks, he'll do it. Those picks are going to be good for a few years. I would just be like, hey, give me all your 2025 first round picks because that's the only draft that's going to be any good. I want to see if I can get Cooper Flag. Let's swap out Laurie for Cooper.
I don't know if this works, and I'll probably run it through the trade machine after. If you're the Warriors, like however many picks it takes, and Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins for Jordan Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen. Are we cooking with gas there or no?
I mean, I think it works, but I don't think the Jazz say yes because I think the Jazz have to have somebody in the building to get people in the building. They're a small market team. You got to make money off the team, and nobody's going to watch a game with Klay Thompson and who'd you say Wiggins?
Yeah.
Who wants to show up to that game?
Yeah, but come on, the Jazz.
The Alec Burks show is what it's going to be.
No, it's their Wookie. It's their rookie they have there. Jarace Walker, is that his name? No.
I don't know.
He's
like
pretty
Pods.
good.
I like Pods a lot too.
Pajemski.
No, that's the Warriors, but on the Jazz side, like who they're going to show up to watch? You still have to put asses in seats if you're a Utah membership.
Oh no, Jarace Walker's on the Pacers.
They have Keontae George.
Keontae George, that's the guy I was thinking of. Yeah, he's a beast.
Is he going to put asses in seats though, like Laurie does?
Does Lauri Markkanen put asses in seats?
More asses in seats than watching Andrew Wiggins and miss every shot and Klay Thompson be a cone out there.
I think Klay Thompson will put as many asses in the seats as Lauri Markkanen currently does, just based off of who he is.
but you already know who Laurie is now, and he's not even at his prime yet, which is the thing that.
He's 28 years old. He's not going to get much better.
Oh, is he 28 already?
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
been
he
in the
was
league for a grip.
Oh, well, I don't know. It all come down to Jazz ownership and like what they want to do on that one. I mean, I think the numbers will probably work out fine for that.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand what the fuck happened to them. Because last year they were like a 5 seed or something like that, and this year they're not even going to make the play in. Like that team just confuses the shit out of me.
I don't know. Every time we played them, they sucked.
Yeah, they beat the brakes off us the damn year.
The another team to talk about, I suppose, is of interest. The Hawks. What do they do? Are they gonna?
Even at this point, or are they just like
They're terrible.
they're like a 10 seed, aren't they?
Hold on, let me look up the.
Yeah, what if the Lakers could get like Capella? I don't even know. Is Capella move? Like, what the hell is Capella doing?
Is Capella gonna really shift them?
I have
No, he's on their team.
I mean, is he gonna make them that much better though? Like,
The Hawks are the 11th seed. They're 18 and 27. So yeah, they're probably folding it up.
isn't that funny though? Like we're talking about the Hawks 18 and 27 folding up, and what are the Lakers like 18 and 26 or something like that? And they're like, all right, they have to make a move to
No,
win.
the Lakers are 24 and 23,
Oh wow, they have a winning record. Oh, that's my bad.
and they're in ninth place, tied with the Utah Jazz.
They could
Yeah.
send Bogdan anywhere to like be a bench scorer.
Yeah, Bogdan will be a guy that I would be looking for maybe for the Lakers.
That Jalen guy too, Jalen Johnson. I think they consider him untouchable now. But
Yeah, whenever he plays great at. But then, like for some reason, sometimes he just doesn't play. I don't know.
How many more seasons of this do you have to see before you decide you start thinking about moving on from Trae Young?
Like one or two more, maybe.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you have to probably trade him. If you're going to trade him, how many years he got left on his contract? You'd have to trade him with about 2 years left on his contract or 1 year left because
I would have already, but I don't think the Hawks will.
Me too.
I don't know if you can trade him if he has like 3 years left on his contract. 'Cause I don't know if anybody else is going to take that and be like, yeah, we see what he is. Let's pay him crazy money for 3 more years. And
He's under
handcuff him.
contract until 26. He has an ETO for the 26-27 season.
I also think the Hawks just want to play 500 ball, which he can do. Like I actually don't. I don't think the Hawks are a very serious organization. In my opinion.
That's a crazy fall off from a team that took us to what, 6 games last year?
I mean,
Yeah.
they're around 500. I think it's just
They were
they-
8 last year, so it wasn't like they were that much farther down the list.
yeah. I just think they're an organization that just like kind of is never too ambitious with this stuff. They just kind of want to make the money and just kind of.
Yeah, I see that. They're like,
Yeah,
"Ah, we
I guess
got-
Trey, if anything, he brings the eyeballs.
Yeah, hey, this guy's fun to watch, Yeah.
A team that actually looks at like in a really harsh realities is like the Celtics, and we get crapped on for it. Like when we give away IT, it's like
Trade away everything, bomb for a couple of years, see what we can get, and then rebuild like a smart organization does.
Yeah.
Charlotte's gonna try and do that. That's another team that's
But they were never contenders. They're rebuilding off of the rebuild.
yeah, but at least they're selling parts to like bomb a little bit and get a decent draft pick for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
imagine being a Hawks fan and knowing the whole Luca thing, man. The picture of Luca and the Hawks had at draft.
Oh man.
I'd
That's
pay-
like Babe Ruth curse a franchise type shit.
Oh my god. Jacob's got a whole fucking bucket of salt and lemon. Fucking he's pouring it all over Hawks wounds right now.
not too hard.
Oh
Uh,
man.
What about like a team like the Knicks? Do we think they're good set, or do you think they're gonna do something? The Heat? How about like do we think any of the Celtics? Dare I say this is a Celtics podcast? Are we gonna do anything?
I'd like to see us do a little something at the trade deadline.
Maybe we'll flesh that out a little bit more next week. What we think about, each come up with a list of people to talk about who we'd like to see, if anybody. I don't know, man. I don't know if you screw up these vibes.
I don't think we do. I think the Knicks do though.
What do you
They
think
need
the Knicks do?
They need a big.
Yeah.
They do need another big. They need
Because
like an actual-
Mitch Rob is like as bad as Rob Williams when it comes to like being really like. Does Mitchell Robinson ever actually play more than half a season?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like I don't think I've ever seen him consistently out there. And Julius is injured.
I got the
I mean-
perfect trade for you right now. Nick Richards for like, whatever salary, or and the picks, whatever picks you have left. Huh?
For the Knicks?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would do that, yeah.
that's an extra big.
He's averaging 12 and 10 too. I mean, I don't know how empty those numbers are for the Hornets. I don't know if he's just like garbage time minutes or whatever, but I mean, they have two really good big guards. They got Mark Williams coming off the bench, so they don't need
Well,
both.
Williams he's missed like a month.
He's missing time.
Yeah, he's
I was
back.
looking at his numbers and Nick Richards' numbers. They're both really good, and I was looking at them for the Celtics. They fit into the TPU. Shoot them a couple of draft picks, and then have them just come right over.
Do we think Beef Stew goes anywhere?
Yeah, that makes sense.
For now,
Huh?
you play for Detroit still.
Yeah.
Jalen Duren's a beast that I don't think.
Jalen Duren's so much better than him.
I was gonna say I don't think the Pistons want to trade Duren now.
No, he had 22 and 20 last night.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier in the year they might have, but not now.
He's also like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Why would you trade a guy who's 20 who's pretty good? I would trade Beef Stew.
back to the Jazz. I was gonna say, like, how many people on the Jazz are untouchable? Because I think Walker Kessler would be pretty crazy for the Knicks, or just I don't know.
I think Walker's probably untouchable for me if I'm not untouchable.
The only
God, you have Kelly Olynyk. I'd just rather trade him.
yeah, true. And John Collins, they have John Collins.
That was I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I mean, I guess we're just going to try and go size. We're going to beat you with size, but that was a nuts free agent move.
I think that Ainge is just collecting all the assets to trade. He has so many appetizing people now.
Yeah. Good for Danny. Any other moves you'd like to see happen?
I'd like to see Levine get moved just for the chaos of it. I want somebody to think that Levine's going to be the game changer for their team and watch him just shit down that team's leg too.
What if the Heat go out and get DeMar DeRozan?
That doesn't worry me. He plays the same as Jimmy Butler. You're going to beat us with mid-range jumpers? Okay.
Double down on your strengths.
They also have to trade
Man.
stuff to match that salary too, because he's making like $30 million a year or something like that.
They have what's his name's contract of Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, the Bulls are same as the Hawks. They like to hang out around 500, and they know if they trade for Duncan Robinson, that's going to son of sink them down the fucking shitter.
What about Duncan Robinson for the ball? What's his name? Caruso.
Dude, you can't trade Duncan Robinson.
You can't.
No, didn't you see that? Like, they literally named
they said he was untouchable.
Yeah, I said this last time. You tried to trade him last time. They actually said he's untradeable. Like,
That's sickening. That's crazy.
Shooters on that stupid fucking team. You have Terry, and then you have Duncan Robinson. Those are your two best shooters on the team.
dude, who's getting Chris Paul?
What if the Heat get Chris Paul?
I forgot he was like. Dude, we talked about the Warriors.
Home in fucking whatever in Phoenix or wherever the hell he is now.
We talked about the Warriors. He didn't even come up.
I forgot. I honestly forgot he was on the team.
He's been so bad for that team. He just grinds everything to a halt on the team that plays off of ball movement. What a shitter.
I know we could trade. The Warriors should trade Chris Paul for Jordan Poole. That'd be a pretty good trade.
The salaries match, I think.
Yeah, they're missing a quick pay shooter type of guy,
You know, maybe a guy who really calls it as he sees it. You know, he lets you know if you're a backpack or anything like that.
Just on that note, Wes Unseld out as the Wizards head coach.
That's sweet. I don't.
Adios.
That's a
The life of an NBA coach is absolute dog shit, especially when you get a job like the fucking Wizards or something like that. Like, you know you're not going to win. You're going to be a scapegoat in about a year and a half. Just collect the check for a little while, then go home.
So what? Wes Unseld's like one of the best Wizards ever, and his son was one of the worst coaches for them.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I can't really blame the son for the coaching. Like, what the hell they give the fucking guy to work with?
Nah, yeah, exactly. Here's Jordan Poole and stuff.
Jordan
Good
Poole
luck.
and Kyle Kuzma. Have fun.
All-star starters came out. Let's give you a breakdown of the Eastern Conference starters. You have Giannis, Embiid, Tatum, Halliburton, and Dame Lillard. What do we think about that?
Brunson should have been on that, not Dame Lillard.
Agreed.
Other than that, like, I think everything's pretty much where it was going to be.
Yeah. Tatum is fifth in a row All-Star game.
You know,
Yeah,
Good.
At
was
least.
What are you saying? Somebody speak.
I was okay. I was gonna say like I feel like when we had this conversation originally when we were like talking about the voting, I feel like Dame was a hot take then, and I feel like with the stretch that the Brunson's been on recently too, it's even sillier. Like I feel like Brunson's been going kind of crazy recently, so it's kind of odd that it's happening right now with all that. You'd think that the voters would have been going harder for him in New York,
Yeah,
but
the
Yeah.
somebody made the somebody tweeted said this is New York. We voted in Giuliani and Eric Adams. We're not very good at voting. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, the bench, who do we see coming off the Celtics for the All-Star bench?
And Brown is going to be in for sure.
Yeah.
That's a lock. I mean, you're the best team in the league right now. You're locked for at least 2 players every time.
yeah,
The rest of the bench, I don't know. You pick your poison from the rest of the East.
Do you think White gets snubbed?
White's probably going to get snubbed. You might end up with Porzingis on there on an injury replacement because it's going to be the coach's choice on that one.
Huh.
Probably pick the guy who's really had one of the biggest impacts on the best team in the league. But I don't think White gets in there. But that's not to say White's not an all-star caliber player when it comes to winning games, anyways. But he just doesn't put up the numbers all the rest of these guys do.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I don't even need White necessarily in it. Like honestly, him just being considered a snub or even close to it is honestly kind of enough of like honor shown to him for me. Him just being in the considerations been fun. I don't really. I won't be mad if he's not made it. It'd be kind of silly if he made it, honestly, even though he's
Every
worth.
every one of our starting five received top 10 fan votes, right? Like,
Yeah, for their position, yeah.
It's
come
just
on.
it wouldn't be a bad thing. It's just like it's just honestly an honor that he's even considered, honestly. It's just hilarious. Or we have like our arguably coming to the season, he should have been our fifth option. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
now there's nights where he's the second option.
yeah.
For sure. Your Western Conference starters: LeBron, KD, Jokic, Doncic, and SGA. That makes sense. That they seem like they got that one right.
LeBron's getting the old man treatment.
Yeah, yeah. Come on.
His numbers are still stupid, but I mean, there's probably forwards in the West that probably would have made.
Is that his 20th straight All-Star game?
Yeah, the only one he hasn't made was his rookie year.
Dude,
I'm assuming he was a bench player in his rookie year. I'm assuming that he still was there, but
That's why I want him on a good team, man. That's crazy to say. 20, basically our whole lives, that guy's been an All-Star.
Dude, I think it's just gonna be his 20th All NBA too.
that's so stupid. 20.
That which is that's the craziest thing ever, actually.
The longevity and the dominance of him for our whole like basketball consciousness is just unbelievable.
Because
Yeah.
that's like another layer too, because like All NBA is like top 15 then.
Yeah.
Top 15 for 20 straight years.
That's unbelievable.
Special.
Hard to conceive. It's
Guys
like-
make the Hall with like 5 or 6 of those. And he's gonna make 20 straight.
You know what? We're gonna reach the top of the charts with hot takes like these. LeBron James is actually pretty good. That guy LeBron's pretty good, man.
They should open another sector of the Hall of Fame because we let anyone in. They need to put like Michael Jordan and LeBron and like Kareem and Bill in their own like area or something.
Yeah.
Their own like building because it's silly to think about like LeBron and Jordan with some of the people that are going to be in the Hall of Fame.
LeBron and Jordan are in there with Bob McAdoo. Like,
Yeah. Probably Iggy.
Dame Lillard is gonna be in there. Never won anything besides, individual accolades.
Rudy Gobert. Not ready. No one's ready for that.
Yeah.
that's gonna be the worst
It's
one.
gonna happen though. I mean, he's probably gonna win his fourth depoy this year.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
speaking of Hall of Fame, Tatum's on a career path for that, numbers wise, anyways. I mean, they had 11,000 points, broke 11,000 points last night. Was this? What did I say? It was the 7th player in NBA history to break 11,000 before turning 26, and 4 of the other 6 are all Hall of Famers or locks for Hall of Fame.
Jeez, man.
He has more All NBAs than Vince Carter.
Really?
Yeah, Vince Carter only got 2. Tatum already has 3.
Wow.
Is Tatum the best Celtic since Bird?
I think it's still Pierce.
You think
Until
Pierce is
you-
better than Tatum?
Until you put Chip up there. I mean, Pierce has a chip and a Finals MVP.
Yeah.
It's kind of he's got a few scoring titles too. I think too in the late 90s.
So is Iguodala a better player than Tatum?
Well, we know Iguodala got a Finals MVP he didn't deserve. Like, we keep talking about that like he deserved that.
You know what's great? I just looked up Pierce. If Tatum will get an All NBA this year, and he'll tie Pierce then too, because Pierce only had 4.
Yeah, Pierce got 4. Yeah, I mean, like right now, Pierce for the next year or two for all-time Celtics, it's like it's gonna be Pierce still. It's gonna be Bird, Pierce, and then Tatum. And this is also we're forgetting about Bill Russell. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying since Bird.
He said
since Bird, since
Yeah,
Bird, yeah, it's probably Tatum and Pierce are going at it right now. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know where
I think he's better than Antoine Walker already. I think that's safe to say.
I love Antoine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you rank KG in that though? Because KG
I was about to
for
say,
a couple
single-
years, but he
single
got a
season.
depoy here and and he won your finals.
Yeah, I mean, like he is a Celtic, but like I could see people being like, he's not really. He did all that stuff on the Timberwolves besides winning the chip.
Did he get a depoy with us?
He did in 09.
Yeah.
Remember, he was on the cover of 2K that year.
Oh,
Yeah, then he got hurt in 09 and we didn't fucking win shit without him.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, like KG's prime was probably in the Timberwolves, but he had a prime like year when he won the depoy, and we just had injuries, and Perkins was injured and stuff.
well, how many years has Tatum been on the Celtics?
Well,
7,
6.
6.
I'm on his IMDb right
How
now.
many years was KG a Celtic? 4.
He's like on his IMDb right now.
Oh. Yeah,
He's got a few commercials.
no, Basketball Reference actually.
I mean, he was the star on Uncut Gems. KG.
It's true. No,
Um,
Tatum's 7th year right now.
yeah.
In his 7th year.
So he's already been along the team longer than KG was. Like, I'm just talking about KG is, as of right now, was a better player than Tatum is.
Yeah.
Better Celtic. Who's been a better Celtic? I'm going to give it to Tatum.
Yeah, all right, I can see that.
Yeah,
I
probably.
still got to give it to Pierce though, because Pierce was dragging some dog shit teams to the playoffs every year and everything.
Yeah, I
like
think Pierce is the argument to have.
I think Tatum will reach that, but he's not. It's pretty hard to say now.
that. You could
Yeah.
argue Isaiah Thomas too.
Yeah, seriously, you could.
No, you can't argue Isaiah Thomas. I love him, but he only had 2 good years with us. They were
I don't know. I love that guy though.
Magic, and I love him, and he's always going to be one of my favorite Celtics. But Tatum clears him though. Tatum averaged 30 for a
Yeah,
year.
but something I'll never forget. Well, first of all, he's 5'9".
Yeah,
Like
that was fucking stupid what he did.
5'9". He also playing in the playoffs when his sister died. Like that's just stuff that is burned in my fandom forever. Like that. That is like, I don't know, whatever being a Celtic is. That's that.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart's also in consideration for me too.
Depoy as a Celtic too. That's big. But
First guard in so long too. It's like legendary for a guard to even get it.
yeah, first guard since Gary Payton to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting debate, but yeah, I think Tatum will clear him. God willing, he's on this team for a few more years.
He's a machine. Numbers machine, dude. He'll have the numbers.
Yeah, that's the best thing about him is his, knock on wood, longevity. Like he almost never misses time.
Longevity and consistency. Every night you're gonna get a good game from him in one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean the wheels kind of came off a little bit last year in the playoffs. You could see he was a bit tired. Was that coming off the year where he was playing internationally too, or like the?
Yeah.
So he played a lot of basketball in a few amount of years there.
And last year was the year Mazzulla's rookie year, and he was really trying to get every single win. And there was games where we were not going to win, and you knew you weren't going to win, and Tatum and Brown were still out there trying to drag them back.
Yeah.
No break this year too.
They
I
were a lot better with that.
assume Tatum's on the Olympic team too. So
Yeah,
we're
he got selected.
getting a break.
I think what was it, Jalen, Jason, Drew, and Derek White all got selected to the USA pool to get selected from for the USA team this year.
Cool.
Tatum's basically a lock. That team's gonna be so. Do you hear that? Like of the 6 that have locked in, we're gonna have a movie in the summer, dude.
Isn't like LeBron, KD, Steph.
Curry's first Olympic.
Yeah, Cherry's first time playing in it, which is wild. That it's his first
Steph
time.
Curry hasn't played in the Olympics before.
No,
Yeah.
never.
Dude, we're getting Steph, KD, LeBron, like the 6 best players in team. Like that could say they were gonna play or
Embiid?
playing.
Didn't Embiid say he was gonna play too for the USA? Yeah.
Yeah, he could have played for France, I guess.
Or Cameroon. I think it was
Yeah.
one of the two.
Jeez.
Yeah, like it was gonna be stupid this year.
Good Lord. That's gonna be a massacre, man.
You got LeBron coming down the middle of the lane. You got Steph flaring out to one corner, KD flaring out to the other corner, and Embiid your trailer. Like, what are you gonna do?
LeBron competitively playing with Curry is gonna be so fun.
And Tatum's gonna be like a fucking like six man on that team. He's like the
Yeah.
he's like the top 5 player in the league now.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
man.
Tatum, can you get
All
us
the
some more
takedown
rebounds?
Germany.
Tatum,
Oh,
we don't
this to
need
beat
just
one
score 6
man.
rebounds.
Dennis Schroeder.
Sure. And the Wagner brothers.
Daniel Tice.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else around the league you want to talk about?
Oh, the scoring for the last week has been.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Doncic
Doncic.
73, Booker had 62, and Cat had 62, both in losses, which is fucking wild. And Cat getting sat in the fourth quarter of a game where he had 62 points and they lost. And then Embiid had 72.
Yeah.
At 70 in like 34 minutes or something stupid like that.
Yeah,
Doncic fucking went wild in that game too.
the Embiid one was it was like, all right, yeah. I mean, Wemby is like amazing. He's probably one of the better rookies we've had in so long, actually. But it's like yeah, it does help to be 300 pounds. And when he was bullying him, it was
Yeah.
like it was the best big like not like the best offensive like scoring front face. Like I'll say that like all around offense, Jokic's probably better. But like when it comes to like off the dribble and like using his strength and driving on him, I don't think Wemby could face a harder person.
Yeah, I think Simmons talks about this a lot. Is like Embiid's like the best offensive center since Shaq, like the most offensive dominating scoring. I think he's what he
Physicality
says.
and whatnot, yeah.
Yeah, because he can do it from. I mean, he's like Shaq, but can shoot.
Yeah. No, he's like aggressive as hell too.
Jokic obviously has he has unparalleled passing, but
Yeah.
yeah, Embiid's no slouch in that either.
No, this year he's really stepped up. He's averaging like 6 assists a game this year, which I mean is kind of a factor of Harden not being there a little bit, but him being able to step up and still do that is pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Luka Doncic was 2 assists short of having a 70-point triple double.
That
And
is
he was
insane,
hitting
man.
guys in stride, and they were missing like layups, and they were missing wide open threes. I was watching that game. I was like, dude, he could have easily had like 15 assists and 73 points.
could have also had like 80. They're like trying so hard to not let him get more points at the end too.
Doubling the shit out of him, dude. And he
Yeah.
was swing the ball perfectly on point, on target. And the guy would just brick a three, and that's the only reason why the Hawks stayed in that game.
2 questions off of this topic. Do we think Kobe's 82 will get broken?
81 for Kobe.
81. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It'll get broken at some point. Yeah, I mean,
82 is how many games are in the season?
yeah, it'll get broken at some point. I mean, it just has to be like it's one of those perfect storms where the other team has to be competitive enough to stay in the game with you while a guy's going off like that, and just the evolution of the 3-point shot too, and like how often guys can get to the line. Because you watch like Kobe's 81, he got to the line like I think like 17 or 18 times. Like guys do that on a regular night now. And he wasn't shooting threes. He was like getting all mid range. I'm gonna get to the rim. I'm gonna fade away off the post. Like that's how Kobe did it, which was unbelievably skilled. You never see a guy do it like that. But now the guy shooting threes, like shit, you see a guy hit 10 threes in a game, that's 30 points right there. And then all you gotta do is hit some free throws. You get 20 free throws like you always do, and there's 50. And then all of a sudden it's 31 points left.
Yeah. Do you think the 100-point record will ever be broken?
That one, that's more of a discussion. I mean, I know the threes are a wild thing, but I don't know, 100 is just a different level.
Yeah, I think 81 gets broken just because I mean like if you watch the Luka game, it's pretty. I mean, it's like yeah, he didn't even go to the line that much either. Which I was actually kind of surprised about. I looked at the Luka one and he went to the line the second fewest for like that for like a 70-point game ever. Like, cause there's been like 8 or something now, or like 7, and
Yep.
he's like I actually went to the line like second least out of any of them. Just kind of surprised about because he's kind of a free throw guy a lot of the time. But I mean, if you even go to the line a little bit more, a couple more threes, he's basically has 81 already, and it's not even that. It's not that crazy. Also, if any of these games go to OT, they like never go to OT.
Yeah, I think it has to be obviously, this is an obvious thing. It's going to have to be a perfect storm of like double OT. The guy is, like a Luka Doncic type player or Steph Curry or whatever. Has to have like an amazing, improbable night from three and from the line. I also think maybe they would probably have to like invent a 4 point shot, like how they have in like the 3v3 league. Just like one little spot right by like
Yeah.
just like a guy's just like Trey Young just sitting out there just wet from 4 points. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. The 100 point. I think the 81 point, weirdly enough, is very likely.
I'd be
That's a plan.
surprised if not in the next 5 years, honestly.
Yeah.
It would also have to be a perfect storm of like you have one like dominant player on your team and like the rest of the team is kind of mid, and that guy's just gonna get the ball every time. Like the Mavericks game, like no Kyrie in that game. I don't
Mhm.
think, right? And like, who's your second best player on there? Tim Hardaway, like Hardaway
Yeah.
Jr. Like, so yeah, it's Luka. Get the rock. And how it is. I mean, like Karl Anthony Towns one obviously plays with Anthony Edwards, but um, that's also a lot.
Conley's not a scorer. Gobert's not a scorer.
It has to be like a perfect storm. And then your guy has to have enough skill to be able to beat double teams too.
If we get
You're gonna get doubled if you have that many points.
the 4 point line would be fucked because they literally already shoot from that far. It would just be adding points to it. It's like not like they'd even make, like they already shoot from 40. They just know extra points. Like remember, imagine Wemby, like just that'd be the most efficient shot in basketball. Him just walking down and shooting from like 50 feet. Just like
Porzingis,
Yeah.
him, Porzingis, and Embiid, and Karl Anthony Towns would all just hang out there. There would be no more post play in the league.
Jokic would stumble into the 4 point line and go like from like half court and I'd go in probably.
Um. Yeah. Let's talk about the look ahead here. The Celtics have a homestand coming up. They got the Pelicans on Monday. Cornette is doubtful. Al is questionable. Zingy's questionable. You probably will see a lot of Nemi Skata out there. And then you got a Pacers on Tuesday on the second night of a back to back. No Halliburton. So that's going to be a tough stretch here because the Pelicans feel big, um, in terms of size of their team, and we're obviously down a lot of size. And but in the Pacers, offensively they're a dynamo, but with Siakam now they're more of an issue. But no Halliburton's going to be huge.
They're gonna slow down a lot without Halliburton. They don't really have a guy who passes the ball like Halliburton on that team.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
gonna have a big Benedict Mathurin game over there.
Uh, McConnell's going to kill us. He always does for whatever reason.
So have Richard McCall just play 1-on-1 for the freaking game. So I want to see some dogs go
Give the people what they want.
You give the old white guys
No,
the ball what they want.
no,
Real
we need
basketball.
We need that, and then we need like Neesmith and Jalen Brown just to try dunking on each other over and over again too.
Neesmith is wild.
Yeah, I don't want Neesmith to hurt anybody. He's like the Tasmanian tiger from like the cartoons where he's just like a blah, 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 like a cyclone.
Smashing everything. And just, he takes out everything. He's a wild boy.
Yeah, he is a fucking tornado in there, which is good. I mean, good for him. I like hustle.
He plays really well for them.
And then you get the Lakers on Thursday at home, and then the Grizzlies on Sunday. Obviously, Grizzlies are terrible. They're folding up for the year.
Yeah, Smart makes the trip so we can see him and give him his ovation.
That would be cool.
I'll watch for that for sure, like the beginning and all that.
Yeah, I want to see the. Hopefully, we can find a way to get a hold of the tribute video they're gonna put up there.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Hope they put that out on social media for us too.
What are we expecting here? A 4-0 in this homestand?
Yeah, I expect 4-0. There's no real. I mean, like the Lakers, sure.
I think the Pelicans are going to be difficult.
We've played games though. Porzingis and played small, and we just got out and ran on teams, and that's how we beat them. I can't remember who it was we played earlier this year, but we played at a higher pace than they did, and they just couldn't catch up with us. They had to adjust to playing small with us, and then we just smoked them. I can't remember what game that was, but I remember it was a big problem not having Porzingis, and we were worried about it, and they just made him look bad. It's kind of like the Warriors used to do. They used to play small, and then other teams would have to adjust to them because they would get up to such a lead. So you just got to play quick with them. They don't really have any guard defenders on that team, I don't think.
Colin, Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, like I want to see Tatum and Brandon Ingram go at it. That would be a fun matchup to watch.
Yes, it would.
Is Zion gonna play or is he hurt again?
He's
I don't
fine.
know.
It's every other game the guy's fucking hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, he's on my team, my fantasy team. I don't know.
Playing, they've been good, I think.
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, I think that Zion doesn't have the numbers this year, but I think it's actually like their benefit. I think like they're all well, like they have like Ingram and him both average like 25, so they don't really like get too much like, and then McCollum's like 22, so they kind of like spread out.
Ball nice. Yeah, they don't just focus on one guy getting the ball every time. That's how you win games too.
I think Zion's still really efficient, like he should be. But I mean, I just love watching Zion. I'm excited for that. It's always fun watching that dude. You never know what he's gonna look like. I feel like he's either like the biggest looking dude or like looking sort of slims. He's like has the James Harden thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of Zion, good transition here to the final segment. Fantasy, our fantasy corner, if you will. Let me share my screen. Some interesting things going on here at the end of the week. I'm up big on the worst team in the league. I've been on a skid here with Halliburton being out, so it's good to see me back in the W in the win column. We had a tie here with Steve.
Let's go.
You had it. You were tied 2 seconds ago. Booker just got 5 more points, but that's a close one.
Does that mean you, Jacob?
No, that's my friend Zach.
Don't look at mine.
I haven't adjusted my fucking lineup in like 2 weeks. I'm 5-8 somehow, and I haven't even touched my lineup.
Jesus, imagine if you did. You'd be in like the playoffs. You could still win this.
Yeah. Is there any late night games that I can change?
My team was so injured this week because of freaking Embiid and Bane are both like Embiid and Bane have been killing me.
Oh, Jacob, it's just been tough sledding.
Yeah, Bane's out for a while, so he was like my second best, honestly. It's kind of fucked up.
That's tough sledding. Let's look into standings here. Me, I'm probably the only one that has any hope of winning this thing. I'm in second place, and with a win today, I'll probably lock that up. Although I could slide out here. I could slide out of the playoffs. Steve, you basically need to win tonight or you're dead. You have a 1% chance of making the playoffs.
And I've Obi Toppin sitting on my bench. He gave me 4 points. I'm just relying on Devin Booker.
Yeah, still at 1%.
Yeah, but you basically need to win.
I need Devin Booker to go off tonight because he's the only guy I've left playing.
Hey,
Tough sledding.
What's that season stats? I'm 8th and what? Oh, look who's above Steve in that.
Hey, in what?
I'm 8th somehow in something. I don't know. I'm 8th in this list. Is this like total points?
8. You're 8th in. I don't know. I just had it ranked. Field goals made. No, that's not.
You're 8th place in the league.
Let's look at points. Most points scored. I'm in first place.
Yeah, that's what it must have been then.
I'm sitting right in the middle, baby.
Oh, I see you're above me in that.
Jacob in 8th. Points 4. No, these are just points scored, not fantasy points. I'm sorry. These are points 4.
Oh, we're really close to each other, Steve. Look how that's like within. That's like 100.
I'm way down at the bottom. Holy shit, am I bad at this?
And then points against. This is where I run into trouble. I'm in the middle of the pack here.
I'm 8th again, dude. I'm like really consistent.
I'm on it. Let's look at the amount of moves made.
We're the Atlanta Hawks.
Let's go.
Basketball.
I'm 8th again.
He's the Atlanta Hawks of fantasy basketball. Just completely mid, right in the middle, always.
Steve, you made a whopping 2 moves.
Yeah,
you have to make moves to win in this goddamn league. That's what this number is consistent.
I gotta make one to tie you at least. I'm gonna drop.
Yeah, I get all the fucking notifications while I'm at work. I'm just hearing the ESPN notification going off while I'm listening to music. And it's like, oh, the Flying Officers dropped this guy and picked up this guy. Then they dropped this guy and picked up this guy. It's like, the fuck are you doing?
Look at my team though. Like I don't like the people who got injured are like Bane and it's always been like Bane and Embiid, so people I don't get rid of. So it's like I haven't really had an opportunity.
Can't get rid of them.
Look at my team. Like who?
Yeah, you can drop like John Collins, Trey Jones, Drew. Unfortunately, you can drop him. I mean, you can, like cycle them.
There's no way John Collins is that low.
Yeah, 17th power forward in the league. That's a guy you can swap out. Although he's kind of going off here.
Yeah, he's the only one helping me out recently. That's why I reacted like that.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
got
hey,
Joel Embiid,
he's the only producing for me.
that's the gamble you take when you pick Joel Embiid, though.
Yeah, I get he got me like 100 points. That oh, actually, can we look at how much he got me with the 70-point game? 110.
110.
He gets you that.
That's gonna be well, maybe Lucas is better, but that's gonna be like the best performance in fantasy all year. Besides, like I said, Lucas probably. But like,
Ah.
buddy, you gotta be able to cycle these guys out. And I know it's tough, but you got to get the points when you can get them. You got to suck up all those points.
Better. Maybe you can give me a crash course before next season.
That's the thing about basketball is making tough cuts. Who you gonna cut? Who you gonna add? Make sure the matchups are right. You really got to be locked into the matchups on a nightly basis. But it also helps to draft a good team too.
Me and Jacob are going to be playing each other's in the loser bracket.
Yeah. Unfortunately for y'all, it's probably the losers bracket. Let's look in next week.
Probably a spirited battle.
Oh,
Hey, me and you. If you knock me out of the playoffs, I'll never forgive you.
Come on.
I'm going to try and do everything I can to knock you out of the playoffs.
Let's get some moves on the table. You want to trade? Well, let's do some trades. Steve, do you get those numbers up? Let's trade to each other.
I will veto that shit so fast.
I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose tonight, so I'm probably not even going to be in the playoffs.
Wait, so Embiid versus Jokic right there.
Your best bet is to play the role of spoiler and spoil my hopes.
Is that the playoffs next week?
No.
No, I was going to say, because I'm not going to make I'm going to lose tonight. So
Could be.
whoever I'm playing, they have like 5 guys still playing, and I have nobody other than Booker.
I only had one.
Well, what can you do?
Will be topping me off.
We'll keep you updated on these finals here. What? What are you looking at, Jacob?
What's this noise?
Oh, sorry. That was probably the fucking guy driving by with a bad belt on his car.
Okay. Could you hear that beeping?
No, no beeping.
Oh, weird. Okay, I had an alarm coming out on my laptop.
All right. I mean, anything to talk about? Anything else I'm missing? We good?
We touched on everything, I think.
Celtics going 4-0 this upcoming week.
It's a goal every week.
Anything less, I'll be disappointed because you should knock these teams off.
For real. I guess I just saw that the lines are rolling, so that'll be fun to watch.
Nice. Okay, let's cut this here. I've been Cody. That's been Steve. That's been Jacob. Follow us on socials. We live tweet during Celtics games. The Pierce post up on Substack. Follow us on everything. Like and subscribe to this. Share this with somebody you think like Celtics talk and witty banter.
Maybe banter. I wouldn't call it witty.
Yeah, just banter. Just a nice banter with the boys. But that's been it from us, the Banner Report podcast. Thank you for watching. As always, go Celtics. Peace.
Bleed green.